Welcome to Brother GP. This is episode number 63. We are coming at you after the Catalunya round, and as you've already seen on social media, Kev has a very exciting announcement to tell you about. He's fucking jacked, of course.
Out of my mind. We're going crazy. This is like, you have no idea what's coming.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We've already been laughing up a storm, and this one's going to be good. But as you can already tell, Kev is on the phone.
Yes, I am.
He's here. Everett's here, too.
Coming at you from the hotel, Holiday
And
Inn.
he will be here the entire, hopefully the entire episode.
Yeah. It's like
if he leaves early this time, it'll be planned. Whereas last episode, you probably noticed that he just disappeared.
I've got German businessmen in town. I have to, take out for drinks and keep entertained, and that's how it works.
He's making deals. And he's
Right.
going to do more of it for us at Laguna Seca.
Shameless plug for the Westin St. Francis, Westin Super Chain, Starwood. Give us some money.
Nice.
You're plugging up.
Yeah,
he
money.
stays in hotels a lot. All right, let's plug some other people first. So, of course, this episode is brought to you by Riders Law. Riders Law, they're your California motorcycle accident injury lawyers.
My homies.
So, if you ever... Yeah, exactly. They actually wanted a preview on the exciting news coming up, and we did not give it to them.
No, but we're using your money to do it, Cy. We're using your money to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. So the whole thing that's coming up is brought to you by Cy and lawyer Rob from Riders Law.
Right.
So if you want to help us out, you want to help them out, you want to help yourselves out, and you want to have a reasonably good time going to court and going to trial and having someone behind your back, definitely give them a call and they will take care of you. Check them out at riderslaw.com. That's Riderslaw with a Z. Aside from that, we actually got to thank Cycle Gear one more time too for that awesome visor that we gave away
Big
last
ups.
round.
Big ups.
So yeah,
Thank you.
Nick Souza, right, won that thing?
Nick Souza did. He was jacked out of his mind. He was he basically didn't believe me actually when I sent him the message. I'm like, bro, you won. He's like, what the fuck, So I'm like, no, you won. Dennis will send it out tomorrow. And he tried to act all chill, like, whenever you get around to it. And I'm like, no, fuck you, bro. You already jizzed in your pants.
It's like, can we buy it back from you now?
Right, yeah, exactly. So definitely thanks to Cycle Gear for hooking that up, and they got some other cool stuff in the pipeline, no doubt. So, they'll be hooking us up, cyclegear.com, and if you need to buy anything for, merchandise, gloves, whatever, tires, hit them up, one of their many brick and mortar stores.
Yeah, they're going to help us out, and I'm pretty sure they're going to sell World Superbike tickets too. So if you want to help out motorcycle racing in California, buy a ticket, come to Laguna, come say hi to us.
I'm trying to convince Rob and Dennis and Everett. Well, I don't need to convince Everett. Everett's already on board to try to throw. We're basically, me and Everett are trying to take the entire Bro GP cash fund and throw a huge kegger at World Superbike. So definitely get there.
We need to coordinate with.
You're just finding this out.
Yeah, we gotta find an energy drink company, whether it's Monster, Red Bull, maybe it's even Leopard or Motard, and.
Yes.
Collaborate on a little post-event party, a little after-party action.
Right, exactly.
That sounds amazing. Let's do something like that.
I think we should.
But I gotta jump in here because we've talked about giveaways, and I've already mentioned jizzing in your pants once, and we're only 4 minutes into the podcast. So we all know Dovizioso won his second race in 7 days. I was freaking out. I actually called it on Instagram. Me and Everett agreed. First of all, I'm the only one who had the balls to put it on paper, bro. But yes, Everett did text me earlier that he thought that Dovizioso was win. But here at MotoGP, we are so jacked on Dovi winning, and we're so excited that Ducati's kind of back, and he's won twice. The first time, by the way, he's ever won 2 races in a row. His entire GP career going all the way back to 125's little nugget. He never has won 2 races in a row, despite being 125 G champion. To celebrate not just his win at Mugello, but his win at Catalunya and his clear hunt for the title, although Hill Coy got it, we are, at MotoGP, we all agreed, we're doing our own giveaway, guys. We are going to do a giveaway to celebrate Dovizioso. We are giving away a Suomi Sport SR Dovizioso replica. Dennis has the hookup at Suomi. We snagged the helmet. We're going to be able to get one for you, and we are literally giving this away. It is a high-end, expensive as fuck helmet, and we're giving it straight to you. We're using Cy's money to do it, but it's coming from us. Thank you, Cy. But mostly, we're here. Dovizioso, he's the workhorse. Has been there, back in the doldrums of when Ducati was in the depths, in the dungeons, and it was horrible. And he has led them out. Hashtag Ducati Moses. So here's how you win. Here's how you win the helmet, guys. If you are a BroGP fan, you may have some of the swag we have sent out, whether it's one or two of the shirts that we've made, or one of three of the stickers we made, or perhaps it's all five. Here's what you do: if you have BroGP swag, you post a picture of it on whatever social media version you like, and you tag us up. You're entered. If you have one sticker, one entry. If you got two stickers, post an individual picture of each one, 2 entries. If you got all 3 stickers in a shirt, keep doing it. Each individual picture up to all 5 swag options, and you are entered up to 5 times. It's basically a big thank you to our fans who've been supporting us since day one, just like Dovi's been there since day one. And so if you go all the way back to, you have the teal Rossi flipping you off shirt, that's an entry. If you got the Excite Bike shirt, 2nd entry. If you've got 1, 2, or 3 of the stickers, 3rd, 4th, 5th entry. Any social media platform, post the picture, tag us, and you are entered. On the Ascent episode, I'll announce the winner. We'll draw random, just like we did with the Zarco visor, and you're in. So, because, as Dennis said to remind people, we are dope as fuck. We are buying you a fucking replica Sport SR Suomi helmet.
We had to have,
from us.
let me add to that. We had to have an emergency board meeting to fucking enable this. So it was not easy to get these funds allocated.
Yes.
From Dennis.
From Dennis. Yeah, Daddy Dennis. Yeah,
he was
exactly.
hesitant. I'm usually very cautious with the funding, and even
right.
I saw the
so no fucking other podcast does shit like this. I swear to God. We'll get into the race, and the race was fucking awesome, and we all love it, and no other podcast. We just giving away shit left and right. We're the, Oprah of podcasts. I mean, you get a car, you get a helmet, you get a fucking helmet, you get an autographed visor, you get free all-access passes to World Superbike. And you got to do...
real quick, point of clarification. This time, whoever the winner is going to be able to tell us what your size helmet will be, and you will get that size. So it will fit you. You will wear it if you want.
Yes, this is not a donated size large helmet. This is to you. When you win, whoever you are, we are going to get you the helmet, Suomi. We're going to order it from them through Dennis's hookup, and we will get the specific size you want. Keep in mind, they run a little small. But on to the race.
They do.
Man, you guys are freaking nuts. I mean, all of us. I don't even race in helmets that nice.
It's nice that we have the ability to do this, and we're so happy for Dovi and Ducati, and it's a really great 2 weeks of racing.
I had double D's out for Dovi. Yeah, straight up.
Who doesn't like
no
this?
doubt.
Who doesn't like this?
Right. Who doesn't like this? Yeah, exactly.
All right. So let's jump right into Dovizioso then. So we've already talked about how he won his 2nd race in 7 days. He's never won back-to-back. Do you think that Dovi is actually pushing forward to become a title contender? Do you think that Ducati is actually giving him the bike to be able to do that?
I think
next round he's getting
the
12?
answer is the Dovi's in the details. Hashtag the Dovi's in the details. I've been sitting on that one for 48 hours. The Dovi's in the... Man, yeah, exactly.
I can't even...
Right. Is he a title contender? Me and Everett sure the fuck think so, right? But then you ask Dovi, you ask him in the post-race press conference, and he's like, nah.
Yeah. I wasn't riding at 100%, but nah, I don't think it's in the cards for me.
Right, I wasn't riding at 100%, and I was surprised that no one else could catch me. I rewatched the post-race press conference before this, because, I'm trying to figure out if the dude is being just straight forthright, or he's fucking with people. He turned to Danny Pedrosa and was like, I was really surprised they couldn't catch me because I wasn't riding very hard.
Yeah.
And the look on Marquez's face is like, what the fuck?
You're an asshole.
And then,
fuck you.
Right. And then in like the most anti-Casey Stoner comment ever, he was like, well, everyone didn't really have good grip, but our motor is so strong, I just powered past everyone. Like, imagine like in 2007 when at Shanghai, when everyone tried to say Casey Stoner only won because of the power, he was freaking. Dovi just dropped it right in their face. He's just sprinkling salt, dude. He's like that guy in that Instagram video sprinkling it off his fucking forearm. He's just like, nah.
That part I believe, though, because if you can't hook up and then you get onto the straights and you just motor out, but that historically hasn't been their thing. I mean, really long straights, but not short little. You know, I mean, they like the point and shoot,
no,
but I mean,
the Catalunya has a kilometer-long front stretch, and the back stretch is almost as long. Like they can take advantage of their horsepower.
and even
it's just kind of. It was kind of crazy to see that we made it to low grip conditions and melting tires, and they were still able to take advantage of that horsepower and still able to motor pass.
And that's the thing that Everett and I were talking about, right? Like, during the race weekend, like, isn't it crazy that Ducati is becoming the bike that in good conditions like Mugello it wins, and then we're talking about how it's low grip and there's problems, so Ducati's gonna win. Like, no matter what the conditions is, they seem to be the most neutral and able to win all of a sudden. I know where it's kind of crazy, you know what I mean?
It is insane.
Yeah, these were historically bike tracks, right? They were not, the one-offs like the Red Bull Ring or some other thing where it's like, all right, they'll have an advantage, or like the one where Suzuki got its win. It's like these are Honda and Yamaha dominated tracks, and Ducati is winning. That is suspect, dude.
Right,
well, and if we look at the actual results, Dovi's worst finish is 6th position.
Right,
and
Mr. Consistency. They even said it. They said it on the post-race thing. They were like, we're pretty worried the fact that Dovi's here winning, he's Mr. Consistency, and that scares us. When they asked if he was a title contender, they were like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the only one in the top 5 that actually has a better worst finish is Danny Pedrosa, and he's not too far back in the points.
The crash, yeah.
Right? If he wouldn't have he's got the 2 retirements just like Marquez. If he'd only had 1, then he'd be up there with Vinales and Dovi.
If it wasn't for Aleix, Dovi'd be leading the championship right now. Straight up.
That's right.
And in that post-race press conference, he's like, well, we're really in the same position we were at the start of the year, where he was complaining of the bike, and I know how the thing works, and I know how the engineers work, and, you got to know how to ride around the positives and the negatives. That post-race press conference was, like, philosophical as fuck.
It was very yes.
Yeah, like in a weird way, because guys don't normally say that. Like, he downplayed the he won 2 races in a row in vastly different conditions, and he completely downplayed it. He didn't look excited. He didn't look interested. He looked very calm, almost to the point where you wonder, was that the plan?
No, but he was surprised. At least I got that. I mean, we need a psychologist interview now. But right. I think he was generally surprised with the outcome of that race. He did not expect it. What he didn't realize is that he was sitting on the best bike and the best tire combination with that bike. And
well, the surprise, it's kind of it was definitely a weird race, because the surprise wasn't that he won. It was more of a surprise that everyone else sucked that bad.
Right, and that's the interesting thing. Like we mentioned, like, he won Mugello after having basically food poisoning, where he was so sick that he couldn't do morning warm-up, and he was so fast at Mugello that he thought, fuck, I'm going to tire myself out, and then he wins. And then, he wins when he's sick as hell. And then he goes to what we think is going to be a really physically demanding race. It's over 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The track is scorching hot, and it's this weird consistency of highly abrasive yet no grip. And you think, oh man, this is going to be a struggle, and then he outright admits, I wasn't even riding 100%. I was surprised no one could catch me. Like,
that was the moment in the interview where I was like, oh, these guys are fucked.
Right. This guy was winning races while sick and while not trying. That's, he might want to downplay it a lot, but that's weird.
That part is scary, because, we've, in previous rounds, we talked about
whose
Jorge.
Chair?
That was not my chair.
That was my lovely girlfriend letting the cat out.
Who let the cats out?
Yeah, meow, 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 meow. But
no, wait. Hold on. Bring it back.
Bringing it back.
A few years ago, right, in the first couple of rounds, we made a big deal about how Jorge wasn't able to train well in the off season, and that's why he didn't win in the first couple of races. That's why he had a very poor start to the season.
Yeah.
And then Dovi shows up here and has food poisoning in one round and is able to win at a track that is not easy to ride.
No.
Like all those fast transitions
and the braking
and and the crazy hard braking into turn one. It's not like you
which
can
he
just blow
said,
through there.
which he said, you're reminding me now. He said I couldn't even brake that hard. I was like, what?
Right.
I mean, maybe that was good, right?
And this is, I want to bring something up.
Well, I didn't brake that hard. Sorry.
Right, I want to bring something up, but Rob mentioned lots of fast transitions, and he's been able to win and ride hard while sick, and then when he's not riding hard, what he thinks is riding hard, he wins. Is what does Ducati not have this year they had last year? No winglets. There's no winglets in chill whatsoever. And oddly, they're the only manufacturer that hasn't actually been running some version of sneaklets. Now, we know, Rob, through Nakamoto and through lots of other interviews, including Ducati interviews, that those winglets, while they did plant the front, work anti-wheelie, all that, they made the bike physically demanding as fuck.
Kev, conspiracy theory. Ducati created the winglets so that everybody else would create winglets, only so that the winglets would put them on the wrong path of development and then ultimately get banned and they'd be on the better track of development.
I actually think it's more like a Dragon Ball Z thing. Like he'd been riding with his weighted clothes on, but he's like, you haven't even seen my final form. And he was so used to pushing that bike with the difficulty of transitioning that suddenly the bike is not physically demanding to ride. I mean, we read that interview with Honda where they said they had a bike with so many winglets that they were more than a second faster all around, but it was simply too exhausting to ride. And now we take those winglets off. They got a little bit of development towards Lorenzo, making it a little smoother mid-corner, and suddenly the bike's easy to ride at race-winning pace.
Dude.
I'm going with Dragon Ball Z. I'm going with last year was 100 times gravity in the space capsule.
My mind is exploding with all the conspiracies right now. It is just, there are just too many. There are too many to manage now.
But the thing that gets me though, right, is we know that the winglets, they made the bike more difficult to transition, but there were still advantages, and not just advantages in top speed and acceleration, right? We know that they also made the bike more stable on the brakes. And Ducati, I feel like they spent the first 3-4 rounds kind of chasing that stability again. It was something that they lacked. They've been chasing front feeling. They've been chasing weight on the front tire. They've been chasing
which was ironic. They had the most front feeling this weekend. That's why they won.
Yeah, so it seems like Dovi is telling us that they're kind of in the same place they were a couple of rounds ago, and yet
allegedly,
the results,
allegedly,
the results don't really agree with exactly what Dovi is saying.
That's the thing, right? That's my word. That's my. The biggest interest is weird. Like, the race wasn't that exciting. I was super jacked. I thought he was going to win, so the tension was exciting. But I was almost more interested in the way he presented him and Ducati in the post-race press conference. He was downplaying everything. No, I'm not a title contender. No, that those wins are kind of fluky. No, that it's not a big deal. It's almost like he's trying to stay out of the spotlight and sort of play the dark horse.
Well, he's now 50-50, right, on wet wins and dry wins. And honestly, I bet you in his mind, he chalks this race up more like a wet win than a dry win because of the conditions and because no one was able to ride at 100%. Because he wasn't able to ride at 100%. Like, the look on Marquez and Danny's face maybe suggests that they were pushing a little bit harder. Danny did say before the race, though, that his...
It was a dry race. It was a dry fucking race. Yet this track has no grip, quote unquote, and everyone bitches out. Like, what the fuck?
Well, but the race pace was so far off of qualifying, right? Qualifying shows us exactly how fast they can go when they push 100%. If any one of the racers on track, except for Tito Rabat, had pushed to their 100%,
Tito
had pushed to 100%, they would have. Their tires would have been done in 4 laps.
And you saw what happened when Marquez pushed 100%. He crashed 5 fucking times. Seriously. And that's the look, right? When Dovi said, "I didn't even ride 100%," and that's paraphrasing. Marquez turns and looks at him with a look, and it's like, dude, I was going 100% every session because he was going so 100% that he was crashing in pit lane while walking.
He was like, my bike's legit. I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Crash number 6
so,
in the pit
so
lane.
Marquez has to go to Ducati soon then. That's the bottom line.
No, but he can't win there because he only pushes at 100%. And you win races pushing at 80 on the Ducati.
Yeah. Too easy. I can't go there.
I mean,
and for me, I guess just go ahead.
No, I already forgot it. Say it.
I was just saying, for me, the question is, and he kind of said the same thing, is that he alluded to, are they a title contender? Well, they have to figure out how to be competitive each round. That same thing they've always, he'll win a race, or Iannone will win a race last year, but then, the best guy will get 8th.
But
you know what I mean? They'll have, the weird...
But that's just a statement, right? That's some news media fake bullshit, Everybody just said that. Marquez said that. Danny said that. They all said, we have to take this shit round by round. These new tires are so fucked up, we don't know. Every weekend is a new weekend.
Well, and so Dovi can be correct, but in that, they'll have a bad round come along. But Everett is right. With these tires and with
say that one more time? That one more time?
No, I'm moving on. Essentially, all the good riders, right? All the top 5, they all already have their bogeys in place. Oh, yeah. And there's actually no sign that it's going to calm down. Danny has a worse finish of 5th, but he's got 2 retirements, right? Rossi's got a 10th and an 8th. Maverick has a 6th and a 10th. The time of getting 1st, 2nds, and 3rds the entire season, that's gone this year. So Dovi may be correct that they're still going to have bogey tracks, but at the same time, they're going to go well in Austria. They're going to go well in Brno. They'll probably go well at quite a few other tracks later this season. And if Dovi can get top 5s and top 6s, it will lead him and it'll keep him very close to the title.
Well, and Mav has to respond, right? Because he's now under pressure and there's a threat that's viable.
Right, because before this race, Mav had his 3 wins, and you had 1 Marquez win, and you had 1 Dovi win, and you had 1 Pedrosa win, right? So Mav was the only one who looked like he had the season, the race-to-race consistency. He had the 2nd place when it didn't work out. He looked like he was clearly still and I still believe he is, but he looked like it. And you kind of thought Danny got his 1 of 2 wins he gets every year, and Dovi got kind of a crazy win. That was awesome, but we all know Dovi doesn't win multiple races a year. He wins 1 race every 7 years, and it's right. But then it turns out he wins 1 race every 7 days apparently, and suddenly you have a guy who's not only won 2 races but had podiums, looked good. Lorenzo is coming on clearly. He's slowly finding something. He led the race, 2 races in a row now. He's led the laps and looked like he has the speed. You start to wonder, is Mr. Consistency, who gets 2 wins and he's consistent, the real threat? Because you got to think he's probably the favorite to win Austria, straight up.
I bet that he would by mid-season now. I don't know. I mean, he's doing his thing, but Lorenzo, I don't know. I think Dovi's still in a better spot. I think Lorenzo's the better rider, but Dovi, his time on that bike is a massive advantage, right? I mean,
he's fucking Ducati Moses, like we said. He's leading the people of Bologna to the promised land,
Moses, man.
Right, motherfucker. And he didn't take him 40 years like stupid normal Moses.
They found him in a motherfucking basket in a river and pulled him out of it, and they made him.
Right.
He was poverty. And they made him.
All right, let's I got one quick thing to say before we move on to some of the other riders.
Hold on, I don't want to move on. I want to say hold on, Rob. Hold on. The number one reason I'm so fucking jacked about this, I gotta do it. The number one reason I'm so fucking jacked and I'm so excited for Dovi isn't just that it's Dovi, it's that it's not Lorenzo. Ducati's having the complete reversal of fortune we all hope they have, and the complete reversal of fortune that they expected to get by paying $12 million a year to Lorenzo to get, and instead it's the hardest working dad in the race business. You know what I mean? Hashtag
chill,
fastest dad.
And he's embracing it, but he's so humble and like pessimistic, and he's like, they'll probably tell me I'm an idiot like later because I'm always negative. And it was just so funny.
Right. I just saw a list yesterday that is putting Dovi at $2 million a year compared to Jorge's 12.
He makes peanuts.
Right.
He's the workhorse. He is not the logo. Yeah. He's not.
And that's the thing.
The franchise.
He's put in the time. 5 fucking years ago, he was riding that piece of shit, and he was, you know what I mean? And he was just like, and he just put his nose to the grindstone and kept at it. You know, that he just kept working, that's the thing. You know, Lorenzo would never do that. Rossi couldn't do it. No. You know what I mean? Nicky, again, God rest his soul, only did it because he had nowhere else to go. He would have took a different one in a heartbeat. But Dovi stayed there. Gigi came on. Well, you know, like
to Nicky's loyal. Give him that. And I don't think he would have jumped ship really quick if there was something else. I mean, it was either Honda or Ducati. Ducati just didn't have the thing, and I think they put him to pasture. But with Dovi is the workhorse, and he really is the journeyman, right? He's like no offense. He's the Tom Luthi of MotoGP, and now he's just fucking.
I don't know about that.
Dude. In Everett's defense on that point, Tom Luthi never had back-to-back wins despite being the 125cc champion until last year. So
I'm just saying, and you know what though? They asked him like, "Is your age?" And he's like, "I don't want to talk about my age." But you know this, Rob. I mean, the more time you do this stuff, the more comfortable you get, the better you get. And I think he's really just, for some reason, it's the right recipe for him and his personality.
Oh, no, I kind of do think that the golden age of GP riders, like being 24, is gone.
Yes,
like,
right.
We're pushing on to cycling where you got to be like 31, 32 to have the experience.
We talked about
Well, that was the thing, right? Like, you look at who was on the podium this race. 31-year-old Dovizioso, been riding since 2008 in the series. You had Danny Pedrosa, also 31, been riding since 2006. And then you had Marc Marquez, one of the greatest talents in the history of the sport. And the reason I said when I posted that Dovi's going to win is because in weird conditions where the tire drop-off is, quote, unbelievable, and Petrucci said the second half of the race would be crazy, Dovi is the guy who's the measured, intelligent, not going to take any risks guy. That's and right. The not take any risks and just bring it home is finally paying off because no one can push a front tire like they were able to push the Bridgestone and take risks because the Michelin simply will not allow it.
Well, and it goes to...
You said... Wait, no, wait. You said pushing the front tire. We're moving on to Marquez.
Exactly.
No, real quick, before we get there, and I'm not... Real quick point is, we talked about this on previous episodes where the young rookies are not developing at the rate that they are all betting on, and now we are seeing these more mature riders. And I think it's a combination of multiple things, right? The ability to set up the bike, the ability to manage the weekend, to know what to do and not do. And I think there's just more to it than just age. But I mean, it's interesting. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, even Zarco, who actually did reasonably well this round and has learned from his previous races this season, he's 26, right? He's not 19.
Right.
And Marquez is young, but you look at how many GP starts they have, and that is quote unquote time, right? And you see some of the more tenured guys do well.
Yeah, and having HRC behind him probably matures him a bit faster than the other riders. But
an acceleration mechanism.
You brought up Marquez there, so we
already
told you
final Dovi point. We're giving away a Dovi replica helmet, bitches.
Shameless plug. Oh god. Kev, get more box wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
I'm actually drinking bottled wine this time. It was 3 for $10, so it's only $3 bottle wine. But
upgrade. Did Dennis PayPal you? Is there something we don't know about?
Yeah, exactly. Upgrade is spelled thus. The extra D is for a double dose of his pimping.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. Idiocracy.
Actually, I feel like we could subsidize your wine a little bit, Kev. Just throw you $1 an episode and get you on $4
It's $3 a bottle.
Wine.
Come on, man.
Speaking of subsidizing, before we go into Marquez, real quick, if any of you assholes listening are in Seattle, if you can put me up for one night in August, help a brother out. Let me surf your couch. I got some shit I got to do in Seattle, and I'm not exactly swimming in money because instead I'm spending money giving away helmets. So if you live in Seattle and you want to put me up, hit a nigga up.
When is this, Kev? Let's talk about this. When is this?
No, let's talk about Marquez.
No, let's not. Let's talk about Marquez.
Fucking Rob.
So five crashes throughout the weekend.
Crashy McCrasher face.
Dude, but his best quote was in the post race. He's like, "Hey, I crash in practice to find my limits, and it's fucking practice. And then I got to the race, and what's up, bitch?"
Yeah, I mean, it's a return to old Marquez.
Is "what's up, bitch" an actual quote? I just want to point. No, he didn't actually say "what's up, bitch."
I interpreted that way in my head as he said it. Yes.
Okay, cool, perfect. Yeah, no, I mean, Marquez was crashing left and right. It was... Whoa, hold on. My cat is literally attacking my headphones.
But they were weak-ass crashes. They weren't even tumbles. He just literally slid. There was one where he crashed and then he, just got up and, walked away. It was like, what the fuck just happened? He looked like a rock star.
Well, he actually crashed. At one point, he crashed in a full superhero pose. Like, have y'all seen Deadpool when he's like, she's gonna do I'm gonna post the picture in a second here. But he crashes into a full superhero pose. He was like a boss this round.
The original Marquez came back, right? Crash in practice, do well in the race. And I kind of wondered if Marquez would be able to rebound at this track. And I did call it a little bit because we know that Catalunya is going to be greasy.
Yeah.
And it's going to have very low grip. And we know that the Honda's problems...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they do better in the hot conditions, not because they actually are better, but because everyone else is a little bit worse.
Right.
Their main issue this year is drive, because they still haven't figured out the Big Bang motor and the spec software with that motor, so they're not able to get off the corners on the way that they'd like.
They can't hook up. Yeah.
So when everyone is spinning the tire, they don't seem as bad as they actually are. But the funny thing that I saw too this round was that all the Honda riders were complaining that the left side of the tire was too soft, and that's why Marquez was crashing. I think 4 of 5 of his crashes were all on the left.
Yeah, isn't that why he went to a different tire? Because he said, well, that symmetrical version or that asymmetrical version has a slightly harder left profile, so I had to run it or something like that. But.
Oh no, you're mixing it up with Mugello. All the tires were asymmetrical this round. Yeah. So the right side was the perfect stiffness for him, and then the left side was just a little bit too soft. And he actually called that out in the pre-event press conference, that he thought that if it's 50 degrees on track, 125 for us Americans, that he thought that asymmetrical tires were useless, that they were not necessary.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
And honestly, he probably would have crashed less if they had symmetrical tires and they were full hard the whole way.
That was it. Yep.
Yeah.
I was full hard the whole race. I mean, I don't know what Marquez's problem is, no doubt.
And for listeners, just so they know, Rob has his PhD in tire technology, so that's why we defer to him.
Well, and what was interesting too is that in that same post-race press conference we keep talking about, that Marquez had admitted that he told his team, I want to take risks this race. I want to win. I want to get back to being me.
Clearly.
And then he saw Dovi pulling away, so he passes Danny. He starts the chase, and he's like, what the fuck? I cannot keep up with this guy. And he realizes, even though he admitted, I want to take risks, I want to push it, I want the win, it was simply impossible.
Kelly, I think the actual quote is this round.
Right, that's what I mean.
Race. Yeah, so he took all the risks in qualifying and in practice and chucked it down the road.
Right.
He crashed so many times that he actually had to ride the bike back in qualifying, otherwise he had nothing left, which I thought was hilarious. I mean, unless you're Lowe's. And you're
that's a whole the Lowe's story is insane. But what's weird to me too, and I don't know if it's weird, but how many times can this dude crash and be fine?
A lot. He's still, 24?
Yeah.
a lot, and he's little. And he crashes good. He crashes good, man. His bike doesn't even tumble. He doesn't even tumble. He just like kind of like slides out, like he looks cool going like into the gravel.
He's superhero lands. You know, it's just Well, and even when he tripped over,
he guarded the bike. Like in qualifying, he held onto the bike.
Oh, do you see him shake his hand off?
Didn't even get scratched.
You see him shake his hand off
a little bit. But like the side fairings weren't even scratched, but his leathers were destroyed.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I think Honda's smart enough that they measured the handlebar length so that it just goes down like that fraction to make sure the bodywork doesn't get like.
Well, and what was interesting too is this. Speaking of this guy crashing, well, I mean, you've seen the video on our Instagram or whatever. He trips when he switches bikes, and instead of doing the patented Marquez hops, he decides to get off and leisurely walk around, and he fucking eats it on the starter. I mean, but the thing is, he just owns it. He falls fucking face plants and then just rolls and gets up and like casually gestures towards the thing, whatever. You know, like the dude can just crash, and I don't know if that's a skill that you learn or a skill that just is innate.
Crashing is a learned skill for sure. Ask Rob. I don't know how much you crash, but you definitely
used to crash a lot.
You definitely get better at it after you do it a while.
Right.
I grew up on dirt, so
it's
kind of a learned skill.
Yeah, you tuck those arms in and you stop flailing for sure.
I think this whole weekend was about owning up to silly mistakes. Marquez tripped over the starter. Jack Miller used the wrong but the right track layout. Who else? I mean, we know that Cal didn't own up to his mistakes, but did anyone else? Aprilia probably owned up to their fuel pump and Alicia's motor blowing.
No, Aprilia did not own up to anything. Yeah. Aprilia, instead of saying that they owned up to their fuel pump and started issues, they're like, well, we're looking at other riders because Sam's not getting it done. I mean, they're right. He's not. He sucks. But at the same time,
he only has a 1 year contract. He only has a 1 year contract. So they should both be shopping around because it's obviously not going very well.
I mean, all in all, Aleix got fucked. Lowe's got fucked. Honestly, though, Lowe's isn't doing that good. And you compare him to his teammate, he's way off. He's just not acclimating to MotoGP, so he deserves to probably get punted. No offense, but he never belonged there anyway. But longer.
Yes, yeah, I mean, as we know with Brad, I know that Rob doesn't want to talk about Aprilia, but as we know with Brattle and with Marco Melandri, Aprilia ain't shy and ain't coy about just sacking a rider early. You know what I mean? They'll fucking get rid of you, dog. You know, if you're not getting the results that they think that you should be getting. So, Lowe's is probably looking at like a solid World Supersport ride at this point. So,
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a low drop.
And the fucked up thing is they're showing glimpses of like promise, right? Yet they keep on technically failing them. So that's my bigger concern.
But then the nice thing is that can be fixed, right? Like if the bike had inherent problems like the Ducati from 5 years ago.
A fuel pump failure, but those engine breakdowns are really bad because that tells me they're over tuning the motor and you're stretching to try and be competitive. But it's Aprilia. Let's move on.
Yeah, but they still have concessions because they haven't done well, so they can still do development on the motor. I'm pretty sure.
True. No, you're right. You're still right. Yeah.
There's a chance for them to come back even this season. But so let's keep talking about mistakes though. Do you think Michelin made a mistake this weekend with the tires that they brought?
No.
No, not at all.
I mean, here's the thing, I sent Rob a real long text breakdown. He was nerding out on like the asphalt, but here's the thing: did they mess up? Not really, because the racing in the Michelin era is simply more entertaining. So in the end, no, they didn't mess up. But this track hasn't been paved in 12 or 13 years. You're talking about 12 or 13 years, and it's a massive car track. It's used constantly. You read a lot of the real kind of technical info on the surface, and when you look at what makes a track, you're looking at the grittiness of the surface and then its sealer. And this track has the weird version where its sealer is super slippery, but it's also super grainy. So it has no grip, but it still wears the tires like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, can Michelin really rebound? You can't even compare it to when Bridgestone was there because you're talking about every year it's exponentially worse because the thing just keeps wearing more and more. We didn't see We didn't see an issue where they had to a forced pit stop. We didn't even see that many crashes. We just saw that the surface sucks and riders had to deal with the surface. You play the field, right? Like in football or in American football or baseball or whatever, you play the field, and that's what the riders did. They just had to back off to make it. But the tires weren't dangerous. People weren't crashing like crazy other than Marquez in practice.
Yeah, the ones taking risks. Yeah.
Right. So it was. I don't think Michelin messed up. I think that Barcelona and Catalunya messed up. They're taking their shit for granted, bro. They're like a hot chick who put on a little too much weight a couple years into the fucking relationship, and that 14 extra pounds is 40 extra pounds. She might still have a nice face and nice hair, but she's getting a little chubbier on the midsection, and she's taking that shit for granted. Meanwhile, the bro, i.e. MotoGP and Michelin, he's getting shredded. He's looking tight. He's kind of looking around now going, there's a lot of other tracks. They want me to go to Thailand. There's 4 Spanish rounds. Fuck you, Barcelona. Fix your shit. For reals.
Yeah, so that's the over-under is that facility going to get upgraded with a new surface in the off-season? I would argue they probably will. The reality is...
Oh, I can't imagine with all the comments that came out and with this significant pressure from all the riders and from Dorna, it's going to get repaved.
Right.
It'll probably be repaved in like a month.
Now here's what's fucking
right, because
awesome.
this track is like a 33-year-old chick. She's on the wrong side of 30. She was hot in her 20s, looking good, but she drank too much, partied too long, and it kept going. The makeup isn't looking that tight. The skin is starting to look a little baseball glove-ish, and she's not doing anything to handle it. Just because
And the plastic surgery to make it a little bit better and a little safer of an option, that didn't work out.
Right, bolt-on titties don't work, bro. Everyone sees right through it. Everyone sees right through it.
Hey, if I can,
whatever.
Chicane, my rule has always been if I can touch them, they're real.
Yeah, there's no doubt. If you can get a handle, beggars can't be choosers, and I'm all good. But I'm just saying, Catalunya's rested on its laurels a little bit. There's been a bunch of epic races there, and they posted, right, like you saw it, Everett. They posted like, oh, look at Rossi Lorenzo's epic race. And I'm like, that was 2009.
That was a while ago, bro. That was in your prime. Those are your college years.
Right, then they post like Rossi and Sete Gibernau, and I'm like, fucking Gibernau? That dude's been retired for a decade. What are you talking about?
Who? He's really old. But here's the cool part. Here's the really cool part. Mugello didn't get that kind of negative press on the track, right? And who won? And then you look at this track, and they got all this negative press. So you got two polar opposites. Both of them deemed to be motorcycle, non-Ducati tracks. And I'm going back to the conspiracy and the Dovi hype train. And who fucking won at both of them? The good track with the good grip and the good track with the bad grip. And Ducati won both. That's some shit, bro.
Well, all right. Here, I'm going to let you conspiracy theory out on something else then.
Oh, shit.
So I'm bringing it back to Michelin.
Bring it back.
Do you think that they have too much control over who's winning these races?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. When they're pulling new tires out of their ass, and then you think one person's going to benefit, and then that person doesn't. But
well, wait, hold on here, because the new tire they pulled out of their ass was the new front tire, which was
that allegedly Rossi wanted,
Yeah, and Rossi wanted it. Jorge hated it and didn't want it. Dovi said, I can't tell the difference. I don't care.
Yeah.
I love the most non-committal answer. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
Well, I asked Carl. He said he voted for it because he had never tested it and never used it, so he just kind of went with the group. He's like, whatever. I don't really care.
No. They all tested it at Valencia the year before. No, like they definitely.
Carl wasn't there because he wasn't in MotoGP.
Oh, Carl.
Yes.
Carl. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Dovi.
No.
Dovi, but look at the actual results. Rossi's supposed to get this new tire that he likes. Doesn't put it on the box.
No, it's so ironic. I love it.
Right. And Dovi is like, I don't give a shit, and Jorge says no, and they both do better with the new tire.
It reinforces the Ducati conspiracy that they're gonna fucking dominate faces, dude. They don't give a fuck. They've got it figured out. It's It's fucking on.
This goes back to the girl analogy. You can't try that hard. You gotta kind of not give a fuck, right? Like, if you don't give a fuck, they're like, why doesn't he care? What, am I not hot enough?
You gotta wait. You gotta wait 3 days. You gotta wait 3 days.
Right.
It's standard.
If you try too hard to fucking be dope, it looks bad. It's not a good look, right? I mean, you're trying too hard.
I mean,
but if you look like Dovi don't care. He's like, whatever, tire. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to win
2 days
anyway.
is kind of money. 2 days is kind of money, but standard's kind of 3 days.
Right. Correct.
Petrucci, they don't wait 3 days. He just jumps in there.
Damn.
Did you see that with his umbrella girl before the race?
Yeah.
When they were on the grid?
Yeah.
Dude might be not riding too well and suddenly Link with maybe switch NASCAR, but bro is a stone cold pimp.
Skank Hunter.
Yeah, Skank Hunter 29.
Dude, he could start a porn site, I think.
Dude, have you seen his Instagram? It is. This goes out to my girl Jana, the hairdresser, or not the hairdresser, the seamstress, not hairdresser. She messaged me to confirm that.
Is it Yana or is it Jana?
Yeah, Dovi. Yanone's fucking Instagram is basically a soft gay porn website. What's going on with those dudes? What is happening? I mean, look. It's fucking 2017. I'm all good. You do what you do, bro. But that's a gay porn site anyway. Right.
I can't follow him because I can't look at spoilers, man. But I might have to check this out. That's terrible.
Yes,
dude. I don't even look at my phone on a GP weekend.
I know how that's how we roll.
Come on, bro.
You're the one. You fucking start at you watch the race first anyway.
I watch it at 6 a.m. before my kids wake up, or I won't watch it.
Right. So we were supposed to be talking about tires, and then we were talking about how Yanone is a gay porn star. So we probably want to bring it.
Dude,
back.
we're coming into Assin. It's about to be porn weekend, bro.
It's porn weekend. Right. We've had double D's out for Dovi heading into Dat Assin.
Dat ass.
All right, I want to talk about one more mistake and see if they owned it, and actually we can talk about Monday's test a little bit as well because of it. The Yamaha screwed the pooch on this one.
The pooch,
no doubt. They just royally
screwed
fucked it
in the pooch.
Right. Yes, they did.
Sorry, that was too fun to make fun of.
Rossi had a pretty good pace going in FP4. And he had the pace for the first 2/3 of the race. But at some point when he caught up to Jorge and needed to get by, he just said that the tires went off and he wasn't able to push through any faster. Vinales qualified better than Rossi, fucked up the first lap, and then had to fight through the field. And he made it to, 12th or 11th before other people started crashing. And then actually finished in 10th.
It was a bad weekend for what's supposedly the easiest, most neutral bike to ride on the grid.
Exactly.
Right, the low grip conditions totally fucked them.
Yeah, I mean, Yamaha classically, they're the ones that have the setup first on Friday because they just, for some reason, their base setup generally works a little bit better at all tracks. And yet they come here and they have absolutely nothing. I mean, do you think it was an absolute mistake for them not to test this track a few weeks ago, or do you think it would have not mattered at all?
I mean, to your point, they're generally the right balance for any track. They're competitive. This track, they were nowhere. And is it the new tire? It had to have been the tire, right? I mean, there's no other excuse.
Is it Rossi not having winglets this year?
No.
What?
Winglets make no difference, right? That's whatever. Because nobody has winglets, right? But having new tires.
But he won last year with winglets. I'm pretty sure Rossi won the race last year with winglets.
It doesn't matter though. I mean, what's the farthest back? Both Yamahas, in fact, factory Yamahas haven't finished this far back.
Oh no, yeah, it's never happened before. I mean,
they've always been top 5. One of them.
Yeah, even the announcers were saying that this the factory riders not going into Q2 straight has never happened since that format was created
2 or 3 years ago, right?
Even one of them not qualifying on the front row or something.
I'm talking Yamaha has been there since Rossi joined them 10 years ago.
To answer Rob's initial question, they were top 10 in this race, by the way. But to answer Rob's initial question was, did they make a mistake not testing here? if you look at Monday's times, Maverick tested a new chassis. He was second. Jonas Folger was testing the 2017 chassis to get some outside feedback. He was third. Like, I know it's just practice, but the fact is that testing and some back-to-back work on new chassis showed that they had the speed and pace at this track. Were they caught blindsided and were they kind of rested on their laurels? I don't know. Ducati tested here and tested at Mugello early, so they had a lot of data and a lot of feedback, and it worked to their advantage. It's very difficult to show up and compete against them. Another marquee that's tested and has hella data, when you're still kind of wondering if your chassis is the right chassis for the year. So I think had they tested here, they probably would have done better and would have had a much better baseline. They were lost from day one, and Maverick looked exasperated. He was fucking heated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
he looked like back when he was throwing fits for the Moto3 bike.
Yeah, it was the first chink in the mental armor in years.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Because this was, you'd think, a ride-in for them. Like, clearly they're going to be on the podium. Now, the weather was pretty hot and the track sucks ass, but they didn't know just how bad the track sucked because they hadn't been here.
Yeah, the thing that gets me, though, is we saw with the Tech 3 bikes that last year's bike was easier to set up and performed better. Like, if you had given last year's bike to the factory team, they would have been in front of Zarco and Folger because that's just how the factory team works. But this year's bike seems to be a little bit more difficult to set up. The tires are having a larger effect because we can't kid ourselves. Like, Bridgestone and Michelin have always brought different tires to every single racetrack. They're asymmetric on one side, not on the other side. It's different compounds. Constructions gets changed throughout the year. Something always happens, and the Yamaha's always generally been pretty level. But now we're saying that the Ducati is the level bike, which doesn't make any sense. It's bizarro world for MotoGP.
It makes all the sense, though. I'm kidding. It makes absolutely no sense. I agree.
It makes all the sense. Oh, man.
Well, I think that one thing we have to remember is that, racing especially is what have you done for me lately. We forget that Maverick still has won 3 races of 7. He's still leading the title hunt. He had one. Right, hold on. They had one bad weekend. That was the conditions that were the most antithetical to them doing well. There was the conditions that their absolute worst thing that could happen happened. But we head to Assen, traditionally cool, a good grip flowing track for the most part before they butchered it. And, I could easily see a Maverick win and a bounce back at this one. They've tested, they put their nose back down to the grindstone and worked hard. They tested all day. They got Jonas Folger on the 2017 chassis for some extra feedback, and I could easily see them bouncing back. What you're not going to see in the upcoming races, and Rob, you can look at the calendar and see this, is you don't have a bunch of overly hot, low grip tracks, which are their bogey.
I think you're right, and I'll say this because Folger.
Wait, can you say that again real quick?
You're right, Kev. We agree all the time. We agree all the time, so that's okay. When Rob tells me I'm right, I'm going to take it. But when
we know you're going to take it out.
Yeah, when Folger's there, he shouldn't be there. That should have been a Yamaha factory bike, not a Yamaha satellite bike, right? And to your point about the testing, the correlation makes sense. So yes, they clearly should have tested. Even though I think it really shouldn't have mattered based on how much time and how many years they've been going to that track, they should have known what to expect, right? But
actually, well, to that point, it's similar to the Casey Stoner effect because Rossi kind of came out saying after this race that he's known about these problems with the chassis since Valencia last year, but Maverick was giving feedback and Maverick was going well, so they just kind of ran with it.
That's exactly it.
Right? Yeah. I do actually still need to read up on some of the comments about the chassis that they tested on Monday and see if they're kind of moving around the Casey Stoner.
Perfect storm, right?
We'll know in Assen.
Yeah, perfect storm, right? They expected to be fast. They didn't feel like they were way too overconfident. They thought they were going to go well real fast. They didn't, right? They got caught. That's not going to happen twice. So, but to my point, Folger being there kind of should have been a Yamaha factory bike to clarify, and he was there. So in theory, it should have been those guys. So
Actually, but having the two Tech 3 bikes up there, all they did was take points off of Rossi and Maverick.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that I think
cool for their fans.
That Casey Stoner is maybe one of arguably the most talented racers of all time, but we all refer to the Casey Stoner. They're right. We all refer to the Casey Stoner effect as idiot factories not paying attention. Like sweet legacy. I mean, it's not it's not really like what we were planning on talking about. It's just something I'm thinking about.
What are these shitty Bridgestone tires? Why would we want to use those?
Right.
Who would want to build an overpowered motor that can only go fast in a straight line? That's crazy.
Right. But to go back to Rob's initial point, is Michelin messing up? No, because in the end, the racing in the last year and a half has simply been more exciting, more entertaining, and more unpredictable than it's ever been before. Ben Spies had a comment years ago where he said, if you want to make the racing better, you make shittier tires. Yeah, you make tires that fall off. And, whether the tires are better or worse, because, sometimes they're faster, sometimes they're 3 seconds a lap slower than Bridgestone's, it doesn't matter. The racing last year was amazing. I can't tell you how many messages I've got from you guys on Instagram and on Facebook that always end with, this season rocks. There was a serious grouping of years where no one ever said, this season rocks. It was boring as all hell. 2009, Rossi might have won. 2008, he might have won, but those were some rough years overall for racing. And so I'm not going to talk shit about Michelin, because in the end, the sport is more entertaining and better because they're the tire manufacturer.
Agree.
And hey, Yamaha screwing up this round too closed up the title. So I'm down
with
that
from a
too.
spectator's perspective, this is the best thing we could ever ask for. We are benefiting immensely from all this catastrophe.
And I am severely entertained when Rossi has to come through from the third or fourth row.
Are you not entertained?
I am entertained.
Yeah. And I will admit, seeing Rossi get his 11th title, because he already has 10, fuck you, Carmelo, and fuck 2015, to see him get that title would be awesome, but I kind of want Dovi to win it more.
Dude, how fucking cool would that be?
I know you do.
Well,
I think everyone
let's not
does.
Go too crazy.
Everyone
let's
is
get
a
crazy.
Secret Dovi mark. Everyone is a secret Dovi fan. Like, we all secretly love him. You know why? Because Dovi is like us. He's a normal dude with a couple of bad... He's a bro. He's got a couple of kids. He's got a couple of bad tattoos. Like, you know what I mean? He's bounced from job to job. It's not always worked out. And suddenly he finds himself in the driver's seat, and he's kind of like downplaying himself. He's a little self-deprecating. Like, he's the everyman. No one dislikes Dovizioso. A million people love Valentino, but there's an equal number of people that fucking hate him, right? A million teenage girls love Marc Marquez, but anyone over the age of 33 fucking hates him, right? You know what I mean? Like, but everyone likes Dovi. Like, he's not the superhero the city deserves. He's the superhero we need. You know what I mean? Dark Knight style.
Dark Knight. You love your Batman references. They're the best.
We all root for the underdog. We will always root for the underdog until he's not the underdog anymore, and then they got to go full villain.
Right, you got to go full Two-Face. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's full. I mean, Dovi hasn't made it to that point yet. He's still the underdog. Even if he wins a title, he'll still be the underdog because it'll be unexpected. And we'll say.
Speaking of Batman references,
old man Dovi.
Speaking of Batman references. Everyone fucking found out the last 2 weeks. You ever dance with the Dovi in the pale moonlight?
Oh boy. What? Oh boy.
That's from the Tim Burton Batman. Sorry guys, Rob's too young to know what
that just happened.
Dance with the
I apologize, listeners. Now
I don't remember the quote, but I've seen the Tim Burton Batman at least like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah.
If
you dance with a Dovi, you get burned.
We already talked about silly season a bit, so let's hit up the underclass.
What is all this
static,
this one out. Kevin? What are you doing?
Am I a lot of static right now? Do I need to adjust?
You're better. You're good. You're good. You were playing with fireworks, I think. You were excited.
I'm jacked. I'm jacked for Dovi. D's out for Dovi.
Are you working out?
Dozis.
Are you working out?
Am I what?
Are you working out right now?
I got my D. I got my D out, and I'm
about to go get lifted.
Exactly. Furiously pounding.
This just got bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's
you don't like my Wu-Tang fucking reference, bro?
Oh no, there were too many dick references in there. Sorry.
Well, there's lots of those.
We don't want to talk about Moto 2 because it was a boring ass race. So let's just jump straight to Moto 3 and talk about that last lap.
The Johan Mir's, that was fucking amazing. Like how well he timed everything. It validates the fact that he just signed a 4-year contract. He
should have gone to MotoGP after that. I mean, let's be real. I'm kidding, but
no. We can't fuck his career like Jack Miller's got all fucked up.
Don't jack in that ass.
Yeah.
No. Wait for Aston for that one.
It's gonna be full of all week. I mean, come on.
The passes were timed. The passes were timed perfectly. Like pulled up into second with a few corners to go, and then just the unexpected sort of pass into the new section of the track. I mean, for me, it just reminded me of the good battles that we've seen here in all the before, and it just reminded me why Catalunya is awesome. It had to happen earlier in the day when it wasn't so freaking hot.
Well, we didn't see tire problems in Moto 2 or Moto 3, right? So it kind of makes you wonder. Spec tire worked there.
No, yeah, I mean, Moto 3 was it was cooler conditions. They all generally run the same exact tire because they're such tiny bikes, and I don't even think they have an option for the front tire.
Yeah, they don't.
I think they just removed
they don't
it.
create the same friction and heat and demands and all that kind of shit, right? But
and then
kidding,
Moto
right?
2 actually.
I'm digging at the tires in MotoGP. Sorry,
I know.
I fell short.
There were options in Moto 2, and certain people took different options. And in the end, it didn't really matter. Like everyone kind of ran the same pace. I'm pretty sure Passini was on a different rear tire than Marquez, but he still just managed to get second place. So.
What a bitch.
Yeah, but that Moto 3 race was balls to the wall. I mean, I was really hoping Beluga would come back. He looked like he had the pace, but the dude just gets horrible starts. The KTMs just aren't looking that good this year. You know, Marcos Ramirez and Darren Binder are the only ones in the KTM that seem to be able to run towards the front for the most part. Except for Mino and Mugello, but other than that, the KTMs seem lost. It's really an all Honda show, and it was still entertaining as hell, but I kept thinking like, oh man, Beluga, come on, because if there's anything you can find out is you can be fucking 8th with 3 laps to go and still win the race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, Beluga closing that gap and pulling up on the final group up front, like he did all the work for Mino to get up there, but then his size and just his inability to draft just seemed like it just stifled him, like he just got stuck. Whereas Mino, tiny little kid, is able to pull through from like the 12th when he was stuck behind Beluga and gets 8th on the final lap. Like that kid needs it. Beluga he's kind of like a few other riders that we've seen that they just don't fit into Moto 3 anymore, and he needs to get out of the class. But at the same time, I worry if he actually has the talent to do well in Moto 2 right now.
Yeah, like it's too early to go to Moto 2, but he's simply not physically built for Moto 3. And you wonder if it's damaging, because that kid had a serious brand coming in, CV champion, all that stuff, and he's one of the few riders where he's 12th and the announcers are hyper focusing on talking about him. He's popular, he rides for the marquee team. Everyone wants him to do well, but he just can't put it together like we thought he would this season, and you wonder, is it simply his frame and his size, but he's still too inexperienced for the meat grinder that is Moto 2. I mean, that's a career killer class. You go there too early or you mess up, and boom, you're done.
I mean, at this point, he may have this sort of Quartararo career going here, because Quartararo had some flashes in Moto 3, got hurt, had a shitty year in Moto 3, and then realized that he grew too fast, moved up to Moto 2, and now he's doing a little bit consistently better. I mean, for Beluga, at least he's got the VR46 crew behind him, and he can train in a way that will be beneficial for Moto 2.
Right.
Like that's probably the only thing that'll save him. Like if he does bounce early without having good results in Moto 3, if he bounces to Moto 2, he at least has 2 or 3 years of that fame and that notoriety for him to get good before people start to really wonder about him in Moto 2.
Yeah, he basically will be on the Alex Marquez track. Like his fame and popularity with the females and all that stuff, and his name and his association will carry him for 2 years. And on that third year, you better start producing results. And yeah, I mean, that's the Alex Marquez track is.
All right, you brought it up. Then you brought it up. So let's talk about the silly season and how it's going to work out with Moto 2. So there are a lot of people. We already sort of know that Morbidelli is swapping with Tito Rabat, but now with Marquez winning this last.
Well, no,
race,
he's not swapping. I don't think, because to go back one step, Mir signed a long-term contract with Mark VDS. So someone's staying. So Rabat is not swapping back down. Bro's gonna have to go somewhere else.
He's got to find a new fucking home.
He's going to pull a Yandi, and he's going to be screwed.
Yep, he's going to.
Who's Yandi? Who's Yandi?
Yanni.
Oh.
What he's actually pulling, Rob, is a Tony Elias. He won the title. He moved up. He sucked, and he's going to come back down to a second-tier team and look horrible. And soon you'll be racing against him in Superstock and Moto America.
In Moto America, yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say
poor
that.
Tito. Poor fucking Tito.
I mean,
his life is so rough.
Mir signed a contract with Mark VDS. Alex Marquez has said that he has options for MotoGP, but he's 80-20 Moto2, so I'm not sure what those options are. We'll probably see Marquez stick around in Moto2 because the contracts are weird for MotoGP right now. Most people are in the middle of contracts.
Let's be real. He's got to wait for Repsol Honda for Danny to retire so he can be on his brother's team. And I hate the idea.
Or Cal to get booted. Or Cal to finally move and they put him on the LCR.
That family is so political. They will wait for the right ride. They will not waste him on that. Yeah. And
it'll be HRC back no matter what.
And they want him to be a champion.
Yep, and they want him. Exactly. They want him to be a champion like the brother, and then move up. Yep. And so what you're going to probably see is Morbidelli moving up, to be Mark VDS, Tito out, and then you're going to see an Alex Marquez, Johan Mir Moto2 ride.
And he hopefully reigns supreme, wins, and then Danny retires, and then he goes up. That's the fucking master plan. It sucks, but whatever.
So if Marquez wins the title this year, does that put a whole wrench in the thing, and he moves up sooner, and Cal gets
No, because again, he won't take a bad seat, right? We've talked about this. How you don't come from that class into anything less than a factory ride, to get to a factory ride, and his family and the name right. And the nepotism, I mean, he has to get...
Yeah.
Dropped it
that
in there.
That word has to be brought up at least once.
He has to get to a factory ride or a factory equivalent. So Cal's ride could work. And we've talked about this, that Cal's already out. So if he does win, could he replace Cal at LCR? That would be really fucking mega.
That's what I just said. Cal's got to jump. Cal's got to jump over to Ape, though.
I'm sorry, but yes.
Well, and some other crazy rumors that we saw kind of taking place is that we already talked about Sam Lowe's and how Aprilia has basically thrown him completely under the bus. And they don't want him. Yeah, he's a huge letdown, and they're using him as a scapegoat to get rid of, to scapegoat the lack of performance on the bike in general. And there's some talk that Iannone and Suzuki have soured pretty good, and that that Ape is real hot on Iannone switching early. They've kind of squashed those rumors, but heavy rumors now involve that you'll see Iannone switching out for Lowe's and making a jump early, and then obviously an open seat at Suzuki where Cal laterally slides.
Is it gonna be like? Is it gonna be like a wife swap?
Right. If there's anything I know about Iannone, he's swapped a lot of dudes' wives.
Nailed it.
I haven't heard anything about Cal to Suzuki just yet. I pictured Cal and Iannone kind of fighting for the same.
But that would make sense because then Cal would be back on a bike that rides.
Well, we know that Redding.
He'd be happy.
We know that Redding's out at Pramac, right? Like, that never really materialized. It's not too good, and I think Redding's going to be done.
No one talks about him. He's not doing anything. He's irrelevant, which is sad, but...
Right.
Yeah.
He's monkey fresh. He's freshening it up in his monkey fresh gear,
He could go to World Superbike and do some cool stuff, though.
We need more Brits in World Superbike.
No, I know, but I mean, but that's the whole point. That's where he'll go.
Yeah, God, I hope Dorna keeps him out of there just for the sake of that series.
No more passports. Maximum of 10 passports from Great Britain. Done.
Yeah, exactly.
He could take Bradley's ride. I mean, something.
Yeah, I mean, that would be
anything
fine.
but going to World Superbike. That'd be fine. Whatever. Do we any other spicy rumors here about the silly season, or should we wrap this one up?
No spicy rumors I know about this. That Suzuki and Yanone are kind of soured on and looking to move is sort of the spiciest thing I've heard.
Can we just make?
Wait,
can we just make up a rumor and just say it like we founded that and started a rumor that's now like spawning to bigger and better things?
The best way, I feel like we just need to get it into the press conference.
That's what I mean.
Get one of the writers to talk about the rumor in the social media.
We
questions.
need a deep throat in the press conference.
If you're looking for a deep throat, Yanone's your man.
Call Everett in his hotel room.
Hey.
All right, everyone. You heard about the giveaway earlier. All you got to do,
free helmet.
take a picture of your BrotoGP swag, post it to social media, tag us, and you're entered.
And Kev has a way of tracking this, so do it.
Don't blow your load either. If you got multiple swags, spread it out, dog. Don't post a picture of you in your shirt with the sticker on your helmet while you're on your bike with the podcast stickers. Individual ones. Don't blow your load. Fucking hold it in and hold it over time, dog.
That's some Instagram pro status right there. You can never blow the load all at once.
You gotta
spread it out. Yeah. No. Okay. Do that. Blow us up, and we will get you a helmet, and you will love it. Any size Dovi replica helmet. It's tits. I don't even race in helmets that nice, so I'm a little jealous because they're giving it to you guys.
And before I get any fucking messages, look, we gave the stickers out for free. All you had to do was ask. So if you don't have one, that's on you and not on us. Okay, we gave them out for free.
And we will get more free stickers, and we will do this sort of giveaway again. So don't worry about it. We're doing this on purpose. It's for all the OGs. It's for all the people that donated to get those stickers and to get them shipped out. And it's for all the people that have already supported us. We will do more giveaways. You can be some of the OGs in the next one.
Right.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Predictions.
For what?
Ducati.
For Dad Assen.
Dovi and Ducati.
For Dad Assen.
Done. Mic drop.
God, we're so bad. We're so bad. Rossi's winning it.
No.
Maverick.
No.
Yes.
Rossi,
two Yamahas.
So
Two
cliche.
Yamahas.
You fucking assholes.
All right, what are you going for?
I'm going Ducati. I'm going Ducati.
No, you got to pick one.
I'm going with the hype train of Dovi then.
All right.
With the Lorenzo second. With the Lorenzo second. How about that?
Oh, you're insane. No, that's not. When was the last time that two Ducatis were on the box?
Now you're not even taking it seriously.
I am, dude. That could have happened this weekend.
You're right. I mean, Jorge came back. We didn't even give him any airtime.
He didn't bitch out those mid-laps.
That's true. He didn't. A little bit. All right.
All
right, everyone. We're taking off. We will talk to you in 2 weeks because World Superbike is coming up.
Time to conquer some scotch.
You don't want to hear it.
Hotel bar.
Time to conquer. We could tell you've already conquered it. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you later.